I am happy to be with you today. So I will shortly introduce myself. My name is Bruno Schneider. Listen, my father's name and my mother's name. My father is a Swiss citizen and my mother is a French citizen, and my wife is an American citizen, and my kids have three nationalities. So I was born in Paris, raised first in Geneva, and I studied at Paris Sorbonne University finance. I'm an independent expert working in the alternative finance industry, trying to develop new source of funding for SMEs in Europe. So to help entrepreneurs and facilitate and stimulate innovation and funding for innovative project with entrepreneurs. So I was in charge of the European Grant Equity Association starting and as an industry, and also as a treasurer of the French Grant Equity Association. And now I represent the alternative funding in France at the Europe, at what is called the Paris Europlace, which is an international financial center. And I started doing this since the beginning of the digital revolution with the Minitel, as France started the digital revolution back in the 80s. So I'm a European federalist myself, and I've been promoting the European financial market creation, like the Capital Markets Union and so on, because for me, the European Union is one of the best constructions that in history we could have, because we were fighting for centuries, at wars for many centuries. And now we found an agreement to start a union where everybody is independent, but we share about economy and big issues, which are because we are stronger together. So that's a very specific construction in the history. You have no equivalent in the past of that history, and now on. Most of the people thought that this union will collapse one day or another, but it's strengthening more and more, okay? And so that's a land of peace, a land of rule of laws, which means you have guarantees as a citizen, and mostly it has been inspired by economists, what we call the ordo-liberalism, where it's a people-centric society, and there is no equivalent in the world. There is no other people-centric countries or union in the world, and it has huge impact in your daily life, because you have social security, you have health, you have education. And the citizens are protected, including with their data, with data protection regulation and so on. And it's a nice environment for entrepreneurs, because it's quite secure regarding business rules and so on. So European Union is one of the mankind concept which is copied now, because they want to copy that model in South America. They're starting also copying our model in Africa. And so it's a peaceful area where you can make securely business. You can have security for your kids, to raise your kids. You have education, and you have health, and you have good business opportunities. Regarding business and life in the European Union is one of the largest markets in the world, the equivalent to the US. It has a very long life expectancy also, and you have a great diversity of landscape, of culture, of opportunities. It's still one of the biggest economy in the world and one of the richest. It's of around 450 million people in the European Union, and it's if you count our neighbors, we are like close to 900 million people. So it's a big demographics, but which is very interesting with that demographic and that wealth, because the gross national product is one of the biggest equivalent to the US mostly. And so what is very interesting is that there is a demographic decline, and so it's rich for new people with expertise to come over because we're lacking a lot of workforce, qualified workforce. So there are big opportunities for businessmen and talent to come over. So regarding specific demographic issues with the European Union, we're going to lack 50 million people in the next coming decades, in the next 20 years coming. And in some of our southern countries like Spain, Portugal, or Italy are going to see their population cut by half before the end of this century. So you have the wealth and you have the quality of life, and so you have many opportunities here to make a life, to make a living, and to grow your family. Regarding specifically entrepreneurs who are very welcome here in the EU, it has been a long challenge for the European Union, and the European Commission has the new legislation of the European Union has launched many development programs in a lot of different industries, and they've been promoting the development of private markets, so that our startups can easily access to finance. And we have, well, it's not because I live in France, I live in Paris, but you should know that we're welcoming also a lot of foreign investment which are betting on Europe for the future. And so now you have a new source of funding by the European Commission, which has a lot of industrial funding with the European Investment Bank. You have also the new VCs which are developing fast, and because in the past it was really not that easy to find seed money. And then when you were developing your project worldwide, it was quite hard to have big money for the acceleration, for the growth phase. But the European Commission has set up new rules, new regulation to stimulate the development of private market and venture capital, and including regarding tax on capital. So to leverage, the tax issue regarding tax on capital revenue. So we've made big progress, and now on, just one example, one French company called SoRare. It's a new startup. They're doing a non-fungible token for art, right? And they just raised, they're a very new company, they raised an amazing amount of 700 million euro lately. So the game is changing, and we have a new source of funding. We have a lot of investment from the European Commission regarding innovation and startups. So it's in finance, we say you can't look at the past to see the future as for investment. It's the same with the access to capital here. As the European Union priority, we have two main objectives here. One is what is called the Green Deal. European Union wants to be the first green economy in the world, so with massive investments. There is a strong policy towards the development of green funding, green finance, and it's a big issue worldwide. Being negotiated at the G20, for example, as for reporting of green finance regarding greenwashing, and also it's the digital Europe. Digital Europe is a huge thing here, as we are going to have three strong regulation to be put in place in the next coming month regarding the Data Governance Act. Just because there is something new, and Europe wants to be there, what we call the new economy. The new economy is a digital-based economy and a data-driven economy. So it's a big challenge, as for now, the European Union doesn't have those big techs like in China or in the US. And so this is a big challenge for the European new economy to grow. And so we're going to protect because we say that data has value and data is the new capital. So there has been policy regarding digitization. And for example, we are debating today a new regulation for crypto assets, including for tokenization of assets, because that's a new way of doing finance. We also want to develop what we call distributed ledger infrastructure. As in China, they developed the blockchain services network, and in Europe, we have the European blockchain services infrastructure, which is developing. And so we want to be there in the new digital era, which is mostly called the new economy. So it's challenging for Europe, and we're investing massively in that field, billion, and so it's one of the major policy we have with the green economy. So the new green economy, and that's the political decision at the European Union level with strong investment policies. Regarding that new economy, digital and green, and also health industry, there are huge opportunity for newcomers, because it's a new frontier here, and as in the past we were not aware of the demographic decline and so we're missing a lot of people in the computing, digital, health industry as nurses, doctors, and we have an aging population. So for the health industry, it's a big challenge to welcome, health people like, doctor, physicists, and nurses, and so on. So that's a big, huge issue here we have regarding the workforce, and also we lack a lot of digital skills, and so engineers, computer people, coders, that's the new workforce for the new economy, and so we try to develop the training about it, but in the meantime the training is set up. We lack a workforce in those specific domains regarding the digital revolution. I want to thank you and welcome you. And if you want to get to know more, you always have the resource to check how welcoming is our economy to your skills and knowledge. And I thank you so much for listening. And thank you so much for inviting me to explain why I think that European is the best place to make a living for the future. in the climate change and the Green Deal that we have prioritized.